So good afternoon to specialists and all members. So today's CME is about managing rebound pain after regional anesthesia. So this article is from Korean Journal of Anesthesiology lah. So regional anesthesia is an important component of multimodal anesthetic analgesic strategies lah. So but there is evidence that rebound pain is increasingly recognized as an adverse effect of the regional anesthesia. However, the phenomenon is actually is incompletely understood, and there is more evidence that this rebound pain is more evident if you use surgical anesthesia for operation. So what is the definition of rebound pain? Actually, there are several definitions published before this, but the latest one was in 2019. It's stated as a state of hyperalgesia with an onset between 8 to 24 hours after the block administration. So it correlates roughly at the offset of the block lah. So there are a few characters of the rebound pain that has been described. There are a few essential criteria lah. For example, it is acute post-operative pain, and it ensures following resolution of the peripheral nerve block, and is clinically significant, and in terms of the intensity of the pain, the psychological impact of the patient, also the quality of the recovery. Other criteria that has been described before this is frequently occurs at night, but this can be correlates because of most of the operation is done in the daytime, so the resolution of the PNB occurs usually at night. So and is often described as a burning pain. It's like a nerve type of pain, but it lacks other neuropathic features such as allodynia. And it often remains about 2 to 6 hours in duration, and then after that it dissolves lah. And so the definition is a transient phenomenon lah. It doesn't gives you a long term punya pain effect. So does it represent a regional anesthesia-induced hyperalgesia? So there are discussion of whether this is an unexpected nociceptive effect, or is it an exaggeration of the nociceptive response secondary to regional anesthesia. So there's some studies, mostly animal studies lah, and we show a subparaneural sciatic nerve blockade with bupivacaine in rats induced and transient heat hyperalgesia of their hind paws, and this lasted about 5 to 7 hours after sensory block resolution. It looks like macam ada rebound pain lah, but this is unclear whether this can be generalized to the human subjects lah. So hyperalgesia can also be a normal response to a tissue injury. It can happen even without regional anesthesia. It can be primary hyperalgesia, which is a well-recognized spectrum of post-incisional punya pain, or it can be secondary because of response in the uninjured tissue surrounding the site of trauma. This can represent a peripheral sensitization of the pain. So without a regional anesthesia also, hyperalgesia can also happen. So yeah, another theory is because of the effect of regional anesthesia on the pain perception. So when we do a peripheral nerve block, it blocks the impulse propagation from the site of operation lah, from peripheral nerves to the second order neuron in the spinal cord. So inhibit the central sensitization because there's no impulse traveling to the center. However, the peripheral sensitization is still ongoing if we don't give any NSAID or anything lah. So the peripheral sensitization is still ongoing, but it inhibit the central sensitization lah. So as the peripheral nerve block resolve, the nociceptive input from the hyperalgesic area will become apparent as a rebound pain. Faham kan? Another theory is there's a possibility of potential pro-nociceptive effect of local anesthesia. So in some studies, they have noted that local anesthesia can cause Wallerian degeneration, axonal demyelination, neurotoxicity, also cytotoxicity. So it look like macam ada, it's a nerve damaging property lah. However, the pain result from the damaged neural tissue would expect to be more longer lah, more prolonged. It's unlikely the anesthesia can contribute to post-operative hyperalgesia because usually it's only transient lah. So, yeah, we established that the rebound pain is largely related to the unexpected termination of the conduction blockade. There's one study about the shoulder surgery with or without peripheral nerve block. It noted there's increased pain score between 12 to 24 hours after a single injection of interscalene blocks. And there's in 2015 meta-analysis noted there's significant difference in rest pain scores 24 hours post-operatively in favor of GA only. However, the difference is very small and is limited to limited clinical significance lah. And there's noted also pain scores and also opioid consumption were lower in the regional anesthesia group, and regional anesthesia is more certified with if patient receiving regional anesthesia is more certified with their analgesic after 1 day of the surgery lah. So if you look at this trajectory, the blue color lines is single injection of peripheral nerve block without any contribution from multimodal anesthesia. So at the beginning of the surgery, post-operative, the pain score in the regional anesthesia punya group is actually lower than the patient not receiving any regional anesthesia. But as the time goes, those that did not receive any peripheral nerve block, the pain score actually reducing because of the effect of drugs, multimodal anesthesia, and also because of the resolution of the surgery lah. But after about 8 to 10 hours, there's a rebound pain lah. If the patient was not receiving any other opioids or any analgesics. But then the pain score started to reduce after we started the multimodal anesthesia lah. After the patient has received analgesics orally or intravenously. So the other graph shows that if a patient receive peripheral nerve block and also multimodal anesthesia, the pain score, there is a bit of macam rebound pain, but the score is actually lower if patient did not receive any peripheral nerve block lah. And if patient receive continuous peripheral nerve block, the pain score actually reduced for the next 3 to 4 days lah. So another issue is the cognitive influence of rebound pain. So it's a cortical processes that influence the perception of acute pain. So there are a few bias lah, such as the cognitive bias. This is systemic pattern of deviation from rational judgment, like patient having pain score of 10 but still relax under the dalam atas katil kan. And then there's a contrast effect bias, which is a stimulus is perceived as more intense when it's contrasted with a prior stimulus or lower intensity. Such as kalau patient tu receiving peripheral nerve block after 8 hours, it suddenly have pain. So it will most likely rate the pain as a more higher lah, like 8 or 10, because previously it doesn't have any pain. And another factor is patient expectation. It's the influence of pain perception. If we consider the patient will not be having any pain post-operatively, or especially if pain is not kalau tak banyak pun, she will score as a higher lah. Kalau kita dah already before surgery inform that patient will not be having any pain. So what is the impact of rebound pain? So despite rebound pain, regional anesthesia results in increased patient satisfaction. This can be related to avoidance of GA, effective postoperative analgesia, reduced opioid requirement, also decrease in postoperative nausea and vomiting. PPSP is a apa namanya tu? Persistent pain post surgery. Yeah. There's no evidence indicate the rebound pain predisposed to PPSP lah. Okay. there's a Cochrane review which noted that regional anesthesia may reduce the incidence of PPSP after breast surgery. So it actually helps with PPSP lah. So what are the risk factors of rebound pain? They can be divided into patient's factor, surgical factor, also regional anesthetic technique. So patient's factor noted that those that having presence of preoperative pain will have higher risk of rebound pain, and also patient with younger age compared to the elderly. And the surgical factor includes surgery at joints big joints like shoulder, foot, or the ankle surgery. Patient with outpatient surgery, this is because most likely because when they go back they tak they tak makan ubat yang before the onset of the pain lah. And also the analgesic also dekat outpatient is not as good as inpatient. And also procedure associated with moderate to severe post-operative pain, and also patient receiving single injection of peripheral nerve block with near complete analgesia. So these are the risk factor of having rebound pain. Another factor is regional anesthetic technique. It's noted that peripheral nerve block with dense sensory blockage, such as brachial plexus or popliteal sciatic nerve, will have higher risk of rebound pain after the surgery. So most importantly is the prevention. How do we prevent rebound pain? So there are a few techniques that we can use. The first is continuous peripheral nerve block with catheter technique. So this allows more time for healing and the subsidence of the inflammatory processes, and less precipitous offset of the block. And there's a study by Salvis noted that patient with outpatient, they recruit outpatient patient for arthroscopic rotator cuff repair, and they divide the patient either having GA or GA with single injection, or patient with GA with continuous interscalene block. So both the regional anesthetic RA punya groups tu has shorter paku stay, discharge earlier and longer interval to first analgesics. But on the post-op day 1, instead of severe pain is lowest at the patient receiving continuous infusion, compared to 78% in single injection and 40% in GA only. At day 2, they noted also the continuous catheter group exhibit lower pain score 10% of severe pain compared to 35% in the other two groups. So yeah. And the next strategy that we can use is to use an adjunct that can prolong the duration of the single injection of peripheral nerve block. So what are the adjuncts? One of that has been used previously is perineural dexamethasone. It can prolong the analgesic benefit of peripheral nerve block, and it prevents the bupivacaine-induced demyelination and Schwann cell degeneration. This is only a theory lah, but there's no clinical studies examining the impact of rebound pain with the use of dexamethasone. And the other one is the use of perineural buprenorphine. Still the same, there's no specific study, but there is one study by William that noted that reduction in rebound pain after peripheral nerve block for total hip and knee arthroplasty with use buprenorphine up to more than 300 microgram in the block. Next is the use of multimodal analgesic regime. It can have a potential additive or synergistic benefit to the regional anesthesia. And studies investigating rebound pain do not routinely incorporate multimodal anesthesia. So but otherwise it should still be prescribed on routine basis. And next one is pre-operative education and also counselling. So before we decide to give patient regional anesthesia, we have to educate the patient during the regarding the duration of the analgesia, and one about the expected moderate or severe pain as the blocks wears off. Instruct the patient to take analgesia earlier than later before the onset of the pain, and expect that there will be individual variabilities. Yeah. Okay. So in conclusion, rebound pain is a transient phenomena. In majority of patients, there's no significant impact on opioid consumption, quality of recovery, and also patient satisfaction. It does not associated with longer term sequelae, and it can cause acute distress, and pre-operative education is therefore is essential. So continuous catheter technique or LA adjunct medication can help to alleviate the intensity of the rebound pain.